Olympics. Now, Haligonian diver and conservation advocate Sean Mullen, better known online as Saltwater Sean, wants you to know that you can help clean up the ocean at McMullen, if I don't know what I said, McMullen, Sean McMullen, Saltwater Sean. He's going to let us know how we can clean up the ocean one piece of trash at a time. And sometimes you find treasure. Saltwater Sean joins us this morning in studio. Thank you so much for coming in.
Oh, thank you for having me. This is great. Nice to be back in the studio.
It's so great to have you here, and you've actually brought some of your treasures. Now, have been following you online for years, and I think it's so fascinating that you find these items and then share it with the world.
Yep.
How did you get into this back in the day?
This actually started, this was a childhood passion. When I was a kid, I was snorkeling in lakes and rivers and the ocean with my dad. Then it kind of went away as I got older, and I would do it occasionally, but then it really picked up during the pandemic when we were all at home, locked in our houses, and I needed something to do. So I went and got my wetsuit and fins and mask, and I went into the Northwest Arm, started snorkeling around, and I remembered how much fun I had finding old bottles. And then from there, it just kind of took on a life of its own.
It's wonderful. So you brought in many things that you found over the years. Where do you want to begin? Oh,
I mean, it ranges from all sorts of different decades and centuries. We've got like old crockware from Halifax early history.
Just hold that still and we'll grab that on 7. That's a ginger beer container?
It probably would have tasted pretty good too. That was a ginger beer thing. It looks like the day it was made due to the glaze that was on top of it.
Gorgeous, yeah.
There would have been competitors to this guy, so there would have been another example of W.H. Donovan. We've got even older stuff from like England that would have been imported over here, to clay pipes, coins, glass bottles. I'm
going to go dig in a little bit and see. Well, we've got the glass bottles first. The control room is interested in glass bottles. This one has a story to tell for sure.
It does. This one's actually pretty interesting. I brought this on purpose because on this bottle it says South End Pleasant Street. But there's no Pleasant Street in Halifax today. It's known under a different name, which is Barrington Street.
Really?
So it's just a neat part of our history that no longer exists.
What do you think was in there back in the day?
Oh, this would have been probably like soda water, or we call it bubbly now.
Sure, it was early bubbly. That's fantastic. Okay, when I go to the beach, if I find even a little shard of a piece of dishware, I think I've won the lottery. You found the whole dish.
I found the whole dish. This was in the Sackville River that runs through Bedford, actually. And there's a little chip on it, but I kind of like the imperfections
Hold
in
it
these.
still so we can see that.
Yeah.
So he's going to hold that still. So that's the plate.
Yep.
Did you know anything about its origin?
No, that's the thing. A lot of what I do is...
Flip it back so we can see that maybe somebody at home recognizes that, that brand.
A lot of these things, when I find them, because I'm just cleaning up trash, but I'm coming across historic objects a lot of the time, so I'm learning as I'm going as well. So I love the research part after the fact, and I love going home and looking it up online or conferring with people who know a lot more than I do. So it's a lot of fun.
This, okay, the control room was interested in something, which is it, I'm going to move, which control, what do you want here? This thing, okay, what's this?
We've got, these are clay pipes.
Okay.
So these would have been, smoked a long time ago. The stems would have been a lot longer.
Okay.
For example, they would have kind of been like that, or even potentially longer.
Sure.
They would have smoked tobacco in this, and as they smoked it further down, they would have broke it off, and that's why a lot of them are just bowls now.
Okay, and then they were done with it, so they toss it in the ocean.
They just toss it in the ocean or the lake or the river.
Which brings me to the conservation piece.
Yes.
I bet you come across a lot of things in the ocean that you don't want to display on a table, that should not be there.
I've seen it all. I've seen everything from whole fridges, vacuum cleaners, dehumidifiers, computers, phones, to modern day garbage like Tim's cups, McDonald's cups, stuff like that. Everything ends up in our waterways, and so when I started at the beginning, I was just picking up bottles, but then I quickly realized, I can't be making videos where I'm just taking certain things. So I started taking everything out with me, which took a lot of effort, and then I started displaying it to kind of show the impact it has on our waterways.
It really does, and the thing is, you have to throw it out completely, make sure your garbage is tightly tied, because sometimes people literally throw stuff in the ocean, which I think is unforgivable.
Yes, I've seen that.
But a lot of times it just blows into the ocean because it's loose on the ground.
That's true, right. And I don't like ever shaming anyone with what I do. I just more take it out of the water and just show it off. I don't leave any comments. I just let it speak for itself. So.
Well, you've got a huge following online because you post everything. And since you brought it in, let's talk about a few more interesting things.
Sure.
I'm curious about this gadget. What's that?
This actually took me a while to figure out, but thanks to my fans on Facebook, it determined that this is a German silver coin wallet. So this would have been from the 1920s, 1930s. Someone would have put their coins in there at one point. And speaking of coins, I've actually been lucky over time. I've come across a couple coins from even a 1 cent coin from 1864 from Nova
Wow.
Scotia with Queen Victoria on it.
Come on.
3 years before Confederation. To British hunting buttons, to brooches, to this. This was an interesting thing. I didn't know what this was for a while, but it turns out it was the clasp to a cloak that someone would have had.
Really?
Yeah, so there's all
Yeah,
sorts
how
of...
did you determine what that was? I'll just put it here so people can see the cloak clasp.
Yep. That was just from crowdsourcing information online and then reading and trying to match, using Google image search sometimes to find stuff. There's a lot of information, or conferring sometimes with the museums. People always reach out and be like, I actually know what that is, Sean, and so that's great.
Well, this is the thing. You have a huge online community. So I know that a lot of people are really supportive of you. They're appreciative of what you're doing. Big question you get, though, probably from everybody. What's the most interesting thing you've ever found?
The most interesting thing I've ever found, it might actually be one of these things here. The most interesting thing is always subjective to every diver.
That's true.
But I actually find the most interesting and most personal thing is actually this bottle here. When I was a kid, what kind of kickstarted my love of this was my dad is a scuba diver, and he went into the Halifax Harbor with a guy named Bob Chalk, who dove the harbor for 30 years. He came back with a bottle like this, and I remember as a kid wanting to get my own. Well, 3 years ago, my dad and I were in Terrence Bay diving together, and I found this bottle with my dad. So the most interesting thing is the most personal thing, because I love my dad, and to share that experience with him was really special. So.
That is a beautiful story and a full circle moment. Well, I mean, I guess anybody out there who's interested in maybe learning to dive
Yep.
and doing this, is it really challenging? Do you have to be in perfect health?
You just have, it's good to, do your PADI certification, or if you want to get into snorkeling to start, and just have confidence to be in water and to not be sure of exactly what's out there. I know it's not for everyone. That's why a lot of people like watching me, because
Yeah.
they'd rather watch me be in the water versus be in it themselves.
Well,
but you just gotta have a passion for it and a desire to explore and be curious.
Well, Sean, keep on going. We
I
really
will.
love your work. Thank you for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
We put Saltwater Sean's information on our website so you can follow along with his finds. We'll take a break and be back with more CTV Morning Live right after this.